until launch and
Есть
counting.
пуск. Бортовое питание.
On board power.
Зажигание кислород.
You have oxygen.
Предварительно.
We now have engine sequence start. The second umbilical tower is now separating.
Главное, есть подъем.
The engines are at maximum thrust, booster ignition now at full throttle, and we have liftoff of Pettit, Ovchinin, and Wagner, now on their way to the International Space Station as part of a 2-orbit journey. We are seeing good vehicle parameters so far. Vehicle performance is continuing to look good.
Everything is stable. Total lock one, everything is stable on board. Remember, you're doing well. Copy.
We are now just over a minute into today's launch.
Yaw, pitch, and roll are nominal.
We are seeing good yaw, pitch, and roll, heading downrange.
Fine on board. Remember, you're doing well. Copy.
We are just about a minute and 20 seconds into today's flight. Velocity is over 1,100 miles per hour. Everything continuing to proceed as planned. Just a few seconds, the escape tower will be jettisoned.
90 секунд, двигатели работают нормально.
Extras are operating nominally.
Я понял, самопропulsоры, экипажа хорошая. Принято.
We are about a minute and 55 seconds into today's launch. In just a few seconds, and we now see first stage separation.
Есть сброс до УСАС. Есть выключение двигателей боковых блоков. Есть отделение боковых блоков. Я проводил понял, что порядок самочувствия экипажа хороший. Принято.
Copy.
The crew members reported they are feeling well, and we are having good pitch, roll, and yaw of the vehicle. All parameters on the vehicle are normal. We are now about 2 minutes and 37 seconds into today's flight. The launch shroud will be jettisoned shortly.
We have the control 5 display control descent of the snow carrier.
You are now seeing a live view from the Soyuz rocket. The vehicle is stable. The Soyuz is currently traveling at a speed of about 4,700 miles an hour.
Parameters of the rocket structural parameters are nominal. Copy you. Everything's fine on board. Remember, they're doing well. Copy.
We are about 3 minutes and 20 seconds into today's flight, about 5 minutes left until we reach orbital insertion. We heard confirmation that the second stage thruster continues to perform well.
Recording, everything is fine on board, and remember, you're doing well. Copy.
The vehicle control system performance continues to be good. We are about 3 minutes and 50 seconds into today's flight. In about a minute, we will see the third stage begin to ignite, while the second stage begins to shut down. We have about 30 seconds left of second stage performance.
250 секунд, тангаж, русское вращение в норме. Я проводил на борту порядок, самочувствие экипажа хорошее. Принято.
We are 4 minutes and 45 seconds into today's flight. We have about 4 minutes of powered flight remaining.
Stage 3 thrusters on, 290 seconds.
And we just saw a second stage separation, and the third stage has ignited.
That's Burlock 1. Everything's okay on board. We feel great.
Soyuz is now being propelled by the single engine of the Soyuz third stage.
310.
This engine is providing 67,000 pounds of thrust and will burn for about 4 minutes.
Everything's fine on board. Reporting Burlock 1. Copy.
We continue to see good structural parameters on the Soyuz vehicle, and the thrust on the third stage is performing well. We are about 5 minutes and 45 seconds into today's flight. We have about 3 minutes of powered flight remaining.
$350 seconds, flight nominal. Burlock 1, copy you. All okay on board. The crew feels great. Standing by for 1932.
We continue to see good roll, pitch, and yaw program on the Soyuz spacecraft. And the vehicle structural parameters are still performing well and look good. We are about 6 minutes and 25 seconds into today's flight.
Stage 3 thrusters are nominal. Burlock 1, copy. All okay on board? Copy.
We have about 2 minutes of powered flight left.
$410 seconds, flight nominal. Burlock 1, copy. All okay on board? Copy.
And we are 7 minutes and 10 seconds into today's flight. Everything continuing to proceed as planned. Everything looking good for the ride to orbit for NASA astronaut Don Pettit and his Roscosmos crewmates Alexei Ovchinin and Ivan Wagner.
440 seconds. Vehicle is stable.
We are now
Okay,
7 minutes and 30 seconds into today's flight. The vehicle remains stable. The velocity of the vehicle is now almost 13,500 miles an hour.
460 seconds. Launch vehicle parameters are nominal. Copy. Burlock 1, all okay on board. Copy.
We have less than a minute of powered flight remaining, and once the third stage delivers the Soyuz to orbit and the module is separated, a series of pre-programmed commands will be executed to prepare the Soyuz for orbital operations. These stored commands, called time-tagged commands, allow many of the Soyuz's systems to be automatically activated by onboard computers at precise times stored in those communicators.
90 seconds. Vehicle stabilization is nominal.
We are now 8.5 minutes into today's flight and about 15 seconds away from third stage cutoff and separation. Roll, pitch, and yaw parameters continuing to be normal.
590 seconds waiting for the separation.
And we now have confirmation of third stage separation. The single liquid-fueled engine has shut down and has dropped away at an altitude of about 126 miles. We are now standing by for solar array deployment.
Burlock, MCC Moscow.
And we have confirmation that the solar arrays and antennas have been deployed. And control of the spacecraft from here on out will be overseen by the Russian Mission Control Center in Kuryov,
No issues. Working page 35.
outside of Moscow.
Correct. 35, closer PV 1 and 2.
Article 1 and 2 are closed. Copy. Standing by for the compartment monitor АКГ. 1932-39, pressure NSR 803, INVO 831, instrumentation compartment 836. Copy all. Next measurements in 5 minutes. Standing by for your steps on page 32. Please monitor RDR command execution and monitor number 1. Burlock 1, copy all.
Following a liftoff at 11:23 and 12 seconds a.m. Central Time, 9:23 and 12 seconds p.m. in Baikonur, and a 8-minute and 45-second ride to orbit, NASA astronaut Don Pettit and Roscosmos cosmonauts Alexei Ovchinin and Ivan Wagner are safely in orbit to begin their two-orbit journey.
Yes, correct.
With the trio now in orbit, there is a record of 19 people currently in orbit in space.
Are you ready to receive the data from 1926? Yes, we're ready. 17. 17 decimal 25, 18, 16 decimal 8, 19, 268, 20, 1 decimal 0, 21st, 1 decimal 8, 22, 341, 23rd, 339, 24th, 18 decimal 0, 25th, 17 decimal 8, 26, 267, 088.
You are now seeing a view of the internal Soyuz control panel. This is what the Soyuz crew is currently seeing on board. Again, that Soyuz crew is comprised of NASA astronaut Don Pettit and Roscosmos cosmonauts Alexei Ovchinin and Ivan Wagner.
The long test of course 1 is complete.
The Soyuz crew, being carried inside that Soyuz MS-26 spacecraft, have now begun their short two-orbit chase to reach the International Space Station. Again, docking today is scheduled for 2:33 p.m. Central, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So following a launch today at 11:23 and 12 seconds a.m. Central Time, 9:23 and 12 seconds p.m. in Baikonur, the vehicle saw good roll, pitch, and yaw parameters as it began heading downrange. We saw good performance from all 3 stages.
Current LOS 1943.
And at about 8 minutes and 45 seconds into today's flight, we saw that 3rd stage cutoff and separation. And then the Soyuz capsule at that point and the crew inside were safely in orbit, and the spacecraft began automatically executing its pre-programmed commands to deploy the solar arrays and antennas. And we have received confirmation that that deployment was successful, and then control of the spacecraft is now being overseen by the Russian Mission Control Center in Koryov outside of Moscow, and you're seeing a live view of that mission control from the balcony.
Course 1 string test is complete, no issues.
Вас понял.
Okay.
Бурлаки, мы также ждем от вас 5 минут замера.
Waiting for 5-minute АКГ measurement.
Liftoff of a Soyuz 2.1A booster carrying the Soyuz MS-26 spacecraft with NASA astronaut Don Pettit and Roscosmos cosmonauts Alexei Ovchinin and Ivan Wagner occurred Aboard occurred on time at 11:23 and 12 seconds a.m. Central Time, 12:23 and 12 seconds p.m. Eastern Time, and 9:23 and 12 seconds p.m. in Baikonur from Launch Pad 6, Site 31 at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. All three stages operated as expected during an 8-minute and 45-second ride to place Soyuz in its preliminary orbit where it is now. The Soyuz spacecraft will now begin a short 2-orbit chase to arrive at its final destination, the International Space Station. Docking today is scheduled for 2:33 p.m. Central Time, 3:33 p.m. Eastern Time, with live NASA coverage beginning at 1:30 p.m. Central Time, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We will follow that up with live coverage of hatch opening and welcoming remarks beginning at 4:30 p.m. Central Time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, this is Mission Control Houston.